In this video, I will be showing you how I preserved my sunflower using Mod Podge. I recently had a birthday and I turned 32. Whoop whoop! My mother-in-law gifted me these gorgeous sunflowers. I had to figure out a way to preserve at least one of them. I began by pulling the petals off of the flower and dehydrating them using the microwave method. I am preserving my sunflower in my 2020 Hobonichi Techo Cousin A5 planner. I began by prepping the page with 2 coats of acrylic white gesso. In my bowl, I have the matte Mod Podge water-based sealer, and with the Mod Podge, I am essentially just painting over the entire sunflower petal by petal to rebuild it. I have traced a circle with a regular pencil, so that way I can keep that perfect circle shape that I'm looking for. Sometimes sunflowers come in an oval shape, and you could just draw and work around that, but the sunflower that I got for my birthday was a beautiful big circle, so I chose a circle. I was noticing that as I was working with the Mod Podge and the petals, that it was starting to rehydrate them, making it much easier to lay flat the longer that the Mod Podge was wet on the petals. Once I got them to where I wanted them, I went over for a big top coat with a thick layer of Mod Podge. With it still wet, I began to lay down the petals. Once I had them where I wanted them, I began to lay down a top coat. I am dabbing the petals down with the Mod Podge to ensure that each petal gets stuck down to the layer underneath and that all of the creases of the flower receive Mod Podge. I paid close attention to laying the petals down in the right direction. With each layer of petals, I wanted to make sure that the end result still showed some green. So some of the petals I turned a little bit or left some spaces in between. With each layer still wet, I continued to build up, layer by layer, of petals. The microwave method is the method that I chose to use to dehydrate the petals. While the bouquet of flowers was still fresh, I chose one flower that I wanted to use. I pulled off each petal, along with the greenery, and a couple leaves. From there, I took 2 plates. I laid one plate down, put a towel over it, and I put the petals in on top of the towel. I folded the towel in half, and I put the other plate on top, so that way the petals were essentially smushed in between the plates. Basically like the cream filling in an Oreo cookie. The yellow petals took about 1 minute in the microwave, and then another 30 seconds uncovered in the microwave, whereas the greenery took about 30 seconds longer, and that was it really. However, I will state that it did take quite a while because I was using 2 small plates, so I probably did 5 different rounds in the microwave to get all of them done. But I'm sure you could use a bigger plate to fit more in there. Okay, back to the process. This is my last coat, and I'm drenching this in Mod Podge. I'm making sure that everything is very wet, and once everything is very wet, I then smooth it all out with my brush. With ample time to dry, I began to paint the center. I'm using a stiff brush here with an assortment of colors, and I'm just pressing it down. You'll notice that I'm painting over some of the yellow petals. That was to give it texture, but also to give it that big brown center. I'm using a soft bristle brush here, and I'm not washing in between each color. Nature has such a big variation in color that I wanted to make sure that I wasn't getting it too crisp. And I'm using a lot of paint. I'm just essentially gooping on different colors. Again, for texture and depth. The end result is beautiful, and to my surprise, very soft and bendable in the journal. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it.